Start streaming. Start streaming. Start streaming. Okay, we should be up. Oh, thank you very much for waiting. I think we figured it out. Just make up your own time. I think I figured it out, my brothers and sisters. I'm so sorry for that, man. Wow, man, that's like 10 minutes of your life you can't get back. God damn, I even fucking sang a song, man. Oh, shit, man. You can hear me now? I was singing to myself? God damn it. I hate when that shit happens. Ooh, I sang the song for you. All systems breaking down. Did you guys hear my song before? And we're going to get into the nitty gritty. I'm so sorry for that problem. Now I see that. Now that I see that it's up and running, right? Do over, right? That's what Vandaloo says. Do over. So today we're going to talk about Trump and his comments. So if you haven't heard, Trump and his comment about soldiers being suckers. Are soldiers, warriors, people that go off to war and die for our country? Are they suckers? Did Trump really say it? That's the other thing. And Joe Biden. Maybe they're attacking me now because of the Joe Biden comment that we have a direct link to Joe Biden and Antifa. Joe Biden and Antifa are the same, right? Are they? I don't know. I just that's what I found out. So just let me regroup here. I really apologize. I don't know what the hell was happening, right? I don't know why, and it went down again. Did it go down again? No, we're still here. We're still here. Restore chat. Oh, man, we're having a tough time today, man. This means it's going to be a good show. We're getting attacked left, right, and center. Pop out chat. And I think we are ready to rocky roly. Oh, man. Marcus Conte reporting. So if you like to come to a channel and everything gets... I can't believe you didn't see my Nancy Pelosi shit, man. I was opening a letter. Fuck. That was good material, man. I opened up a letter, right? I can't believe you guys didn't see that. So I got to just replay that so you saw it, right? So also, let me do one other thing. So I got this letter, right? If you noticed that I tore open before, you saw it, right? Fucking Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, has sent me a letter saying someone has to stand up to the bully in the White House. Right? I ripped it open, right? And what is it? It's a picture. There's a picture of Nancy Pelosi facing off, right? So now you can hear me, right? There's a picture of Nancy Pelosi facing off, right? And with Trump, and a opportunity for me, to donate money. Now, who in their right fucking mind? That was the point. Who in their right mind would fill this shit out and send it back to the, right? With money, right? So what you do is, you see the business reply, this is how you handle it. I was trying to say it before, but nobody fucking heard me. So I got to say it again. It's like repeating yourself, right? But anyway, what do you got? We got nothing to do, right? I'm sitting here drinking fancy water, playing my guitar on a Saturday. Fancy water, man. Pellegrino with a little twist. But what you do, what I was trying to say before when nobody heard me, is you take a brick, fucking paste this shit on a brick, or put like a box full of bricks and just paste this shit on top, right? And they have to pay for it. All right, so if you want to take a shot at the DCCC, right, and give them money, give them a box of bricks, right? Give them a fucking box of bricks. So that's what I plan to do. It's postage paid, free postage. All right. Again, very, very sorry. I hope we didn't lose a lot of people by me memeing. I don't know what happens, man. I don't know, man. All I do is I set the shit up. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, we fucking try again, right? I don't know. Half of the time it's me. Half of the time it's a direct attack. But I think that time was, I don't know. It could be a direct attack. I don't know. Surge, power surge. Who the fuck knows? But anyway, kindly become a Patreon of this channel. Even if YouTube fucks with me, I'm not going to go away, right? I'm still here. All right, I'm still here. Tip jar. become a Patreon, ongoing Patreon. These are some good stories today. You're gonna like this shit, man. There's some good stuff. Yesterday was a little slow, but today there's a lot going on. So you remember yesterday the salon owner, right, where Nancy Pelosi did her strut, right, Miss Nancy, right, sending me letters, right. The owner of the salon where Nancy Pelosi had her hair done was flattered by President Trump's tweet. President Trump tweeted, Nancy Pelosi says she got set up by a beauty parlor owner. Maybe the beauty parlor owner should be running for running the House of Representatives instead of crazy Nancy. So Trump jumped in. So Trump, oh, here she is. So let's see. Salon owner Erica Kios was flattered to hear President Trump call her to lead the House of Representatives instead of Nancy Pelosi after the speaker's bad hair day at business. But said in an interview that she has her hands full with her own house. Good answer. Pelosi has been in the president's crosshairs after claims she was set up at Kios' San Francisco salon, where she has been maskless, receiving an illegal haircut in a leaked security video. Here's Trump. Crazy Nancy said she was set up by the beauty parlor owner when she improperly had the salon opened and didn't wear a mask, Trump tweeted Thursday. Does somebody want to, this is a great comment. Does somebody want a Speaker of the House who can so easily be set up? Right answer. Fucking Nancy Pelosi's crying. Crying. I don't know what she's saying.
Feels safe and comfortable. A woman in a high-risk age. The point of releasing this in San Francisco.
Let's listen to him.
Hairstylists and other small business owners in San Francisco and elsewhere are doing what they need to do to survive. The point of releasing this video was and is if a woman in a high-risk age group who spends much of her time on TV warning about the dangers of COVID-19 feels safe and comfortable in a San Francisco salon and can be responsible for being cautious and mindful, why can't the rest of San Francisco and the rest of America do that too?
Yeah, fucking Nancy, man. Nancy on her heels, right? She's sending out, asking for money. She's sending pretty pictures with her challenging Donald Trump at the table. And there she is getting an illegal haircut. Right? It's fucking, what a scumbag. When you think about Nancy Pelosi, what a scumbag. What kind of scumbag gets caught with their hand in the cookie jar, then turns around and says, tries to blame the store owner, right? Fucking, come on, man. It's so corrupt. That is so evil and so corrupt. It's the same thing they did with, at the highest. That's what happens at the highest levels of government, right? That's what they did with Hillary Clinton when they got caught cheating. They blamed the Russians. Same shit, right? Nancy Pelosi running scared right now. So anyway, man, good job, Trump chirping in. So last night, riots. You heard? I didn't hear until this morning, because I don't go out at fucking night anymore, man. I don't go near these fucking animals. You know why? Because it's not Black Lives Matter anymore. It's a pocket full of Antifa motherfuckers, right? That are really dangerous. Now, the topic of this video, as I remember, it was a long time ago when I wrote it, minutes ago, but this is gonna blow you away. Joe Biden's direct link to Antifa. They say, oh, that's crazy, right? That shit is dope. But we're gonna see, right? We're gonna show you. I didn't catch it. Somebody in the chat caught it, and then I followed up on it, and it's totally true. Joe Biden is championing Antifa, a radical, the anti-fascist movement in this country that's systematically burning down cities. It's not Black Lives Matter. It's not the 95% of good, honest kids coming out to protect some unfortunate black people that got shot by police. That's not what this is, right? This is more a destabilizing domestic terroristic organization within the country that sees the government as corrupt and would like to overthrow it. Now, is it right? Are they correct? In some respects, Antifa has a lot of good points. But the way they're going about it, attacking Middle America and such, is not the case. But here in Manhattan, it appears that they actually targeted the right targets, if that's fair. So Black Lives Matter protesters rioted in Manhattan, caused $100,000 damage, says NYPD. Now, 8 people were arrested Friday night when a group of 150 Black Lives Matter protesters smashed windows and graffitied the storefronts of Lower Manhattan chain stores and banks, police sources said. That's not typical of Black Lives Matter. They don't travel in 150 people and start breaking stuff. What happens is that 150 people usually gets in the front of the Black Lives Matter march and then guides them down certain streets, and then the breaking starts. That was our observation, right? So this is Antifa. New York Post reporting that it's Black Lives Matter. It is not. It is clearly Antifa. So 150 Antifa start bashing windows. Starbucks, 5 banks, a Dwayne Reed. Right, about $100,000 in damage. Police recovered stun guns, smoke grenades, burglary, and graffiti tools. These are criminals, right? They're criminals. Now we're in the criminal element of it, and they're okay with that. Antifa always said, by any means, right? By any means necessary. Okay, so now it's becoming by any means necessary. The protest had been advertised on Twitter by groups calling themselves New African Black Panther Party and the Revolutionary Abolitionists. Abolitionists. Excuse me, man. What a fucking freeze that was, man. What happens if you worked for CNN or Fox News or something, and you did that on live TV, you just can't pronounce the word, like you're staring at it, you fucking don't know what it means, or you don't know what abolitionist movement. I know what it means. But those are the two groups, right? One of the arrested protesters was from Portland. Another was from Iowa. All were charged with rioting. Can you still hear me? Am I talking to myself? Thank you, man. So they were all rounded up, but this shit is getting crazy, and it links into the bigger story because Joe Biden is in bed with Antifa. Joe Biden is in bed with Antifa. This is a good one too. Tennessee trooper arrested after allegedly ripping man's mask off. This is good. This is some high drama. Let's watch it on Facebook here. Let's watch it on Facebook. Watch. This is pretty good. So, guy strolling along, he sees some police activity. He narrates it a second. He sees some police activity. He doesn't know what it is, so he takes his camera over there and goes over and checks it out. Not within his rights, right?
I'm filming and I'm on a fucking sidewalk.
And a cop comes up from behind.
I'm on a public sidewalk? I'm on a sidewalk? I'm on a sidewalk. What are you trying to do?
He's mouthing off to a cop a couple yards away.
But what were you threatening me with again, sir?
And now the cop's gonna get flex his muscles. This cop got fired, by the way. See, this is bad police. Guys, the guy got he lost
Am I
his cool.
impeding them? I'm filming them.
I'm telling you.
There's just
I
some
have a lawful
dickhead
right.
filming.
Okay?
I understand that.
That's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
That's what I'm telling you.
Cool.
And when you address me, you use less colorful language also.
I don't think I have to do
I don't appreciate
I'm
that.
sorry. I don't appreciate what y'all do.
It doesn't even concern you. That
Yeah,
doesn't
this
concern
does.
you.
It absolutely does. How does it not?
Do not impede those
I'm not
officers.
impeding them.
I'm telling
Wait
you.
for it.
Do not impede
What
those
is your?
officers.
Why is your hand on your gun?
Because that's the way it always is.
Okay.
Got his hand on his gun. He's right on his toes. You saw how close he is? He's stuck.
You're not wearing a mask? And you're right up in my face? Look at this. What the fuck is your friend doing over here?
Do not impede them.
I'm not
understand?
impeding. What? Briggs? Oh, you Briggs. Oh
Yes,
my
I am.
God. Yeah. Okay. What the fuck?
So he yanks his mask off.
Don't impede
You
those
gonna do
officers.
something about that? You just ripped the fucking mask off my face.
Come on.
What the fuck?
Come on.
Say about the language now.
You just ripped a mask off my face.
I did not.
I have it on film.
Oh, come on. I'm tired of you people making stuff up.
What do you mean, you people?
I'm
I have
tired.
it on
Ooh, that was a
film.
bad comment. He said, "I'm tired of you guys. I'm tired of you people making stuff up." So this is definitely a trooper, a trooper with his balls in a knot over Antifa, right? He's looking at this guy as like a hippie, right? What does he look like? What's the guy look like? The guy's like a fucking He's a masked Antifa.
You're not wearing a mask?
He's got the camera
And you're
on his
right up in my
man.
face? Look at this. What the fuck is your friend doing over here?
Do
Where's
not
the mask?
impede them.
I'm not
understand?
impeding. What? Brick? Oh, you
right,
Briggs.
so-
Oh
Yes,
my
I am.
God. Yeah.
So check it out. I love what happened to this guy, right? So this is in Tennessee, by the way. A Tennessee trooper, no disrespect to Tennessee, has been arrested. Wow, they arrested him, not only fired him. But the trooper was arrested after allegedly ripping the face mask off a man during a filmed confrontation just outside of the state capitol. Trooper Harvey Briggs, 52, was booked by Division County Sheriff's Office. He's fired. Right? He's gone. He has been charged with assault and released on a $1,000 bond. Man, that's cheap. That's cheap for assault. $1,000 bond. Briggs was allegedly caught on camera pulling off the mask. All right, we saw it. Right? This happened. Video was taken about 6:30 p.m. Golden rolling his camera, as he walked towards the car. I mean, in this case, you got to take the side of the pedestrian. You know, we can't assume that he's Antifa. We can't assume he's anything. He's just a guy filming an altercation on the street. That happens. Now, police walk up to you and bully you and try to, get 2 inches off your face and rip your face mask off, right? Insult you, right? So we got to take the side right there, the hippie dippy, right? Sorry, man. Maybe next time. So what else we got here? So Edward Snowden, put your hands together for Edward Snowden, right? You remember him, Edward Snowden, the whistleblower. He gave us NSA, the goods on the NSA, wiretapping all our phone calls and listening to our phone calls, reading our emails, everything. Well, it appears that, let me read. NSA surveillance exposed by Snowden was illegal. Court rules 7 years later. Woo-wee. So what Snowden, by the way, is in exile in Russia. He can't come back to the U.S. He's being charged with espionage charges. If he steps foot back in the U.S., a United States citizen he is, if he steps foot back in the U.S., they will lock him up and put him in a little cage. For what? For exposing what was illegal. So whistleblower revealed connection of phone records to the guard. Let's read what's going on. 7 years after the former National Security Agency contractor Edward Snowden blew the whistle on the mass surveillance of Americans' telephone records, an appeals court has found the program was unlawful and that the U.S. intelligence leaders who publicly defended it were not telling the truth. In a ruling handed down on Wednesday, the U.S. Court of Appeals, it's an appeals court, for the Ninth Circuit, said the warrantless telephone dragnet that secretly collected millions of Americans' telephone records violated the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act and may well have been unconstitutional. So let Snowden come back in, right? Is Snowden still at risk of being jailed if he comes back? Of course. Of course. There's a fucking executive branch. Trump and William Barr, they're prosecuting Julian Assange, prosecuting Chelsea Manning, prosecuting Edward Snowden. You speak and they get you. So I would say Snowden still has a problem. Snowden, who fled to Russia in the aftermath of the 2013 disclosures and still faces U.S. espionage charges, said on Twitter that the ruling was a vindication of his decision to go public with evidence of the National Security Agency's domestic eavesdropping operation. Quote, Edward Snowden, quote, "I never imagined that I would live to see our courts condemn the NSA's activity as unlawful and in the same ruling credit me for exposing them." See, that's the height of whistleblowing, right? A court has ruled, but the courts don't matter because The NSA, FBI, CIA, they're all above all the courts. They do what the fuck they want to do. And then they call it a national, it's national defense. It's, national security. Oh no, we can Snowden. No. That's only part of what he did. Now the other part is in this other piece of paper that we never showed anybody, and so we're going to arrest them and charge them with that. So you don't really win. It is a legal win if there is such a thing in our country. Do courts even matter anymore at these levels? No, only propaganda matters, right? Nancy Pelosi breaks the law. Right? Is there any consequence to anything that she does? No, she turns around and blames the whistleblower. So I guess it's a victory for Snowden. He seems to be happy that he was at least vindicated in court, in a U.S. court of law. But is it safe to go back in the water? I would suggest that I would say that it is not. But nonetheless, a victory. So Black Lives Matter attacked. So the Black Lives Matter protester attacked. Black Lives Matter protesters attacked a car that plowed through Times Square crowd. Right, passengers say. We saw the video yesterday. Right? Let me read. Let's see if this is right. So how come it's not playing? How come it's not playing? Let's just refresh it. Refresh. What's up, everybody in the chat? Vinny D. Martini on the wrench. We got to listen to this lady again. And then. Oh, let's see if it starts to play. So, what's up, everybody? Me so hungry in the chat. Loterus Wing. George's son is here. Mike Fletcher. Dan D. Soul. This lady's a piece of garbage, really. Nicole Malliotakis. I don't like her. I don't like the Republican. I don't like the Republican candidates in New York. They're just phonies. So here's the. This was a few days ago. So this was a few days ago. A car comes plowing through. We all thought it was a cop car. There was a lot of indicators that it might have been, a push bar, tinted windows, no license plate. It looked like a cop. And then there goes Black Lives Matter, physically, violently attacking the car. Tried to save himself. So what is the story, right? What is the story? Who's in the car, I guess, right? So it turns out that this lady was in the car. She's a passenger of the car that rammed through Times Square. Let's listen.
When we got in the car, no one was on the street. As soon as this car started moving, so many people just came in front of the car on 46th Street and would not let us pass. I heard people trying to open the door. I heard something really heavy hit the car, and that's when we just went. It was really scary. You know, I'm very public about my health. I'm a person living with the AIDS. And in 2007, I was on my deathbed. I was more scared last night than in 2007 when I was on my deathbed. I literally saw my life flash in front of me. I thought I was going to die last night. I really did.
So when you see they put your name and it says MAGA terrorist, what is that like?
That's scary. You know, for over 20 years, I have been an activist fighting for equality for people living with HIV.
I just want to say something quickly, that she's standing on a block of a police precinct. Now, I don't know, credibility, is she credible? Is she real? Is this a fabrication of some Freedom News network? I don't know. But I could tell you that she is in Manhattan. She is on a block where there's a police station, and that's typical. They block off the street, and they all stick their cars in there so nobody breaks their cars up. But it is interesting. It was not, according to this, it wasn't a cop car. But
HIV for people that are transgender like myself. And instead of having dialogue and uniting and standing together for justice, Black lives do matter. But I say all lives matter. And it's so scary to see what's going on. People who want to hurt.
All right, so we've had enough of her. But the point is it real? Is she real? Is she credible? Was she really in that car? Or is this a police front? Go out in front of the cameras and say it was you. and there'll be no consequences because there were no arrests. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. But so I don't know. Just throw it out there. So this guy. This is the guy. Look at this video too. So this is the guy who shot. His name is Mike Rennell. Mike Rennell. Yesterday I had said that he was arrested, and it turns out he was more than arrested. He was shot and killed. So this guy's dead. And this is the guy who was on video apparently confessing to the shooting of the Trump supporter in Portland, Oregon. Right? So he's dead, but it is interesting to listen to him. Let's listen to a little bit of what he says. This video apparently surfaced, I think, after he was dead, but certainly taken before he was dead, of course.
Also, I witnessed a gentleman around his 40s, and he was in an altercation with multiple young people of color, minors, and I'm not sure what started it, but I would imagine that he probably said something that was inappropriate, and they went to put him in place, and he got aggressive with them, and so they started getting aggressive with him. And what happened is that he decided to start fighting back with the minors, and the adults around jumped in to intervene. As soon as the adults jumped in, he pulled out a gun. One of the people that were...
He seems to be articulate. He seems to be, you know, cognizant of what he's saying. He doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, you should just read his body language. He seems to be maybe not as deep into Antifa as others. Most of the time, those guys won't come in front of the camera and speak. So it's a little suspicious who the hell he is.
We're in a crowd. I've been working security and trying to keep protected, and so I have military experience. I jumped in there and pulled the gun away from people's heads, avoided being shot in the stomach, and I got shot through the arm.
Wow. Who shot him? Yeah, you're right. He is a little bit of a junkie. I could see that. You guys are saying in the chat, a meth junkie.
Dangerous out here? What do you think?
Well, the night before, somebody came into the crowd and stabbed somebody. It's escalating to a point where, you know, they're trying to disrupt us in every way that's illegal.
So what his argument is that others are trying to diffuse Antifa's movement. Right, that's what he's saying. Right? That's his argument.
You know, they're shooting at us. They're sending people in that are starting fights. It's terrible, you know. And we should have the right to be able to say what we want to get changes that need to be done.
Saying is one thing. Breaking people's windows is another. Right?
But
setting people's shit on fire is another. Threatening people's lives. Walking up to the front of their house, breaking down the lock, and threatening them is fucked up. Or how about with Kyle Rittenhouse, right? Chasing him and trying to kill him. So he has to kill you first before you try to kill him. You're trying to kill him, and he kills you first. So yeah, you do, sir, dead sir. You have the right to speak, but you don't have a right to kill other people and trespass against them.
They're sending people in that are doing this stuff on purpose to break us apart. It's warfare. This is stuff that they've done overseas for years and years and years and years. But now they're doing it to us. They've had it perfected. You know, they randomly do things, and it's gotten to the point where it's scary. You know,
I don't know the background on this story. I'll be perfectly honest. People in the chat are saying that he was running away from a mob or a crowd. I don't know. All I saw was the video of him shooting the Trump supporter, and it didn't look like anything. It didn't look like any kind of big crowd around the Trump guy. It just seemed like, a random killing. He just decided to kill the guy. That's the only video I saw by it, but.
I have my daughter here with
He's got his black fist on his neck. He's got a tattoo of a black fist on his neck. That's
me because I'm trying to give her an education.
That's his daughter eating.
Because the fact
Fat
is
daughter
that she's
eating.
going to be contributing to running this new country that we're fighting for. And she's going to learn everything on the street, not by what people have said.
So that guy's dead. That guy's dead, right? So Antifa, right? Antifa on the rise here in Times Square. 150 Antifa broke up a couple of windows. I might run over there and look at the broken windows, but I've seen it all, right? I know where the broken windows are. They're up 7th Avenue, 14th Street to 20th Street. I know where they are. But what's new about that, seeing broken windows? But this is going to blow you away. This right here, is going to absolutely blow you away. Right? Now, if you haven't seen, right? This is Joe Biden's website. Now, pay attention, everybody. Pay attention, right? You should get a drum roll for this. Pay attention. We are at Joe Biden's website. But I didn't want to be at Joe Biden's website. I wanted to be at Antifa's website. You see me I just typed in Antifa. Am I making it up? And what happens? I just keep coming back to Joe Biden. I'll take it from another page. Let's take it from here. Right? I'm just going to type in Antifa. Antifa.com. Right? Antifa.com. And where do I end up? Back on Joe Biden's website. That right there is fucked up. Why am I on Joe Biden's website? Here's a way you could find out, right? Who owns, you go to Whois website, right? And you put in Antifa.com and you search it, right? Who owns it? I don't know, but this is what it says, right? Antifa.com. It's cheap names. It's totally hidden. The identity is totally hidden. It was created in 2002 and was revamped or updated in 2020. This August 2020. So this site has been up for 18 years. This is all we can really find out about it. And it is just, I mean, it's barbaric that your money, if you're donating, how the fuck you want to tell me that Joe Biden doesn't know about this? You want to tell me that Joe Biden's not behind this? That they're not condoning, they're not condemning, the violence? They're aligning with it. They're aligning themselves with radicals. Why would people vote for this? I don't get it. Let the radicals do their thing, but it is very fucked up, man. It's really crazy. So Joe Biden, more gaffes. Joe Biden's Kenosha town hall marred by eyebrow-raising statements. Oh boy, what did he say this time? 77-year-old senile Joe. Joe Biden's town hall event in Kenosha, Wisconsin Thursday was marred by a number of controversial and eyebrow-raising incidents, including the Democrat candidate claiming that the light bulb was not invented by Thomas Edison, and a questioner refusing to adhere to a pre-written script. She was told to go off. Wow. She went off the script and they told her, get out of here. So everything is pre-scripted with this guy, right? So Biden said during the event that a black man invented the light bulb and not a white guy named Edison. That's not true. That's not true. I know that to be untrue. What's this guy's name? So imagine that shit. I can't guarantee everything gets solved in 4 years, he said. But I guarantee you one thing. It will be a whole heck of a lot better. All right? If he's elected in November, Biden promised we will move a lot further down the road. What does that mean? So this is the guy that he's saying invented the light bulb and not Edison. Lewis Howard Latimer. Lewis Latimer was not the guy who invented the light bulb. He perfected the tungsten thing inside of the light bulb 3 years after Edison figured it out. Now, I'm not lobbying for Thomas Edison. If this guy, if Lewis Latimer invented the light bulb, let's give him credit. But it's simply not true. The truth is that Edison, the American inventor Edison, is credited with patenting the first commercially successful incandescent light bulb in 1879 using a paper filament that burned out quickly. 3 years later, Louis Latimer, a black inventor who worked as one of Edison's researchers, patented a light bulb using a carbon filament, which was much more durable. You follow? You dig? The guy was a worker. The guy was one of Edison's workers, and he perfected, instead of Edison was just using some little shit, paper filament, and it burned out. And this guy came up with tungsten, right? And it's Thomas Edison, right? A more resilient substance, right? So, but there's Biden. Was it a mistake? Did Biden fuck it up? Did he make a mistake? Or just throw out a big lie. Big lie. Make it a big lie. A black man invented the light bulb. And then if half of the idiots that hear it believe it and don't challenge it, then you got a winner. See, that's how big lies work, right? A big lie. Why tell the truth and try to have the truth grow? This is their thinking. Just tell a big lie, a ridiculous lie, and everybody's going to pay attention to the lie, or at least acknowledge the lie, and half of those people are going to believe it. Right? That's the nature of, unfortunately, that's exactly what Trump does. Donald Trump does that. Throw a big lie out there. And most politicians. But nonetheless, there's one gaffe. What else we got by the Joe? Biden speaks with Jacob Blake, right? Visits riot-rattled Kenosha days after Trump visit, right? So I was interested in watching this because look how uncomfortable. This is what Joe Biden is doing. Right? He's in a church. Everybody is miles away. He probably couldn't fill up the church with real people anyway. Right? And he's in there, and they're all wearing
I just want to remind everyone that this event has been set up to adhere to social distancing guidelines. Accordingly, please keep your mask on while you are speaking in accordance with the governor's mandate. And thank you again for being here. At the end of the program, we will give you guidance to take a socially distanced photo. Thank you.
I would walk right out. I would walk out. I did it. I had an instance I told you a few days ago. I walked into a store, and the guy says, first, I need you to put your mask on. And I said, thank you very much. I opened the door, and I walked out, and I slammed the door behind me. That's the way you handle that, right? You have to. Unless it's urgent need for you, like you need to get somewhere and you have to get on the bus or something, then you just eat it. But if you're gonna show up for something and support something, and some cunt comes out and reads you the riot act on why you have to wear the mask, and then you got this enormously uncomfortable situation.
If you want one.
And this fucking senile old idiot just goes along with it.
I'm sorry, Father. I thought I was supposed to come up this way. I came the wrong way. I apologize.
That's okay. Your bracelets are not wrapped in print.
No worries, pal. You can't do that. Well, you got some guns. All right.
He commented on the guy's arms. You got some guns. That's Joe Biden. Oh, you got some guns. The fuck what is he talking about? Because he can't touch it. He got a chance to touch the guy's arm. I gave him a little squeeze and commented on his body part. Oh, I got some guns there. Oh.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I can't hear you. Good afternoon, everyone. There you go. Let's get some energy and love in the room, right?
So there's Joe Biden siding with Jacob Blake, the victim who was shot 7 times by the police. I didn't really watch that. I didn't really get too deep into that one as well. It wasn't that exciting. It's just police fucking up, right? That's what they do, right? That's police, as Trump says, choking. It happens. Millions and millions of apprehensions, police do choke. So that's what this is about. Instead of going to Kenosha and maybe, speaking on behalf of Kyle Rittenhouse, who got chased down by radicals and almost got killed and had to turn around and shoot them before he got killed, he goes to Jacob Blake, the poor black who was attacked by whatever. So here's the big controversy, right? Trump. I'm going to try to be objective here. I have an opinion of what happened with Trump, saying that soldiers are suckers and losers. Now, did Trump say that? I'm going to hold my fire on this one. Right? I'm going to hold my fire until we hear what. Let's just set it up with, here's Joe Biden dumping on Trump, opening up his speech. I tell you, I tried to watch this 43 minutes of Joe Biden, and I got to tell you, it was the most difficult thing to watch him stumble and fall and not know, not really know where he is or what he wants to say or what he's trying to accomplish. It's so fucking boring. It's just so boring. The guy's got nothing. He's got nothing, right? You wait and you wait and you wait for something, right? Speak to me. Speak in a language that I understand. Reach your hand out and touch me, Joe. But nothing happens in 43 minutes. How the fuck does anybody in their right mind put Joe Biden ahead of Trump? Is the media that powerful? Is the media that able to convince the mindset of America into believing that he's ahead? Yeah, right? They convinced everybody to wear a mask. Right? So media, very powerful. This is a media-run propaganda machine trying to get this old fuck elected so that they can run him into the ground.
Former General Barry McCaffrey and Bill Cohen, former Secretary of Defense. And before I begin, I want to speak a little bit to what they talked about and the revelations about President Trump's disregard for our military and our veterans.
He actually does a good job in an old man kind of sympathetic way of bashing Trump. Now, again, we don't know for a fact if Trump said it, but we're going to investigate it. It's based on an Atlantic article where Trump is allegedly heard discussing, veterans as chumps and losers and people that didn't succeed at what they were trying to do. Right? Now, there is an argument to be made that some wars were like that. For example, Vietnam. Trump is of the Vietnam age, so it was widely popular that was a bad war, right? And if you went to Vietnam fighting for what you thought was democracy or what you thought was capitalism as opposed to communism, you were an idiot. You were a fool. You were fooled by the propaganda machine of the time because that's not what it was. The North Vietnamese and the South Vietnamese have been fighting for 2,000 years, right? And then some stupid Americans come along and say that the free side of Vietnam is falling to the communist side. It was so ridiculous and so stupid that but most of the people bought it. Lyndon B. Johnson bought it and sold it, and Nixon drove it into the ground. Right? Kennedy would have, if Kennedy wasn't killed, he probably would have ended it. But he was killed beforehand. And if Robert Kennedy was elected, he probably most certainly would have ended the war in Vietnam. But the point is that Trump was of that era, and it was very unpopular. War and soldiers were very unpopular at the time. So just keep that in mind.
Quite frankly, if what is written in the Atlantic is true, it's disgusting. And it affirms what most of us believe to be true. That Donald Trump is not fit to be the job of president, to be the commander-in-chief. The president reportedly said, and I emphasize reportedly said, that those who sign up to serve instead of doing something more lucrative are suckers. Let me be real clear. When my son was an assistant U.S. attorney and he volunteered to go to Kosovo.
Okay, so that's that comment that he's saying is not confirmed in any video or any audio of Trump saying it. It's secondhand knowledge, according to the Atlantic, and no names have been mentioned as far as him saying it. Who actually heard him say it? Now, the comment is actually out of context. Just listen one more time.
The president reportedly said, and I emphasize reportedly said, that those who sign up to serve instead of doing something more lucrative are suckers.
And it was geared towards Vietnam veterans. Vietnam, the war in Vietnam. Just a little background.
Let me be real clear. When my son was an assistant U.S. attorney and he volunteered.
And Vinny DiMartini says, Trump is a draft dodger. Heel spurs. Right, he was. Trump dodged the draft in Vietnam because he was a rich kid from Queens. Daddy got him out of it, sent him to a doctor or whatever with heel spurs. What the fuck are heel spurs? No, I agree. I'm not taking Trump's side. I'm just stating the facts that the war was wildly unpopular at the time. But Trump went a little further, according to the report. He didn't want to go to see fallen soldiers from World War I in France. Other things.
Volunteered.
I don't know if any of it's true. We don't know.
Go to Kosovo while the war was going on as a civilian. He wasn't a sucker. When my son volunteered and joined the United States military as the Attorney General and went to Iraq for a year, won the Bronze Star and other commendations, he wasn't a sucker.
He's kind of hard to watch, right? He's a little. It's very hard to watch. He's very, like he's trying to drill something home. He's not authentic. That's the problem. He's not Joe Biden. There it is. He's not an authentic leader. He doesn't have charisma. He has exactly what Hillary Clinton has. He has the quality of making you not believe him or laughing at him. It's like Hillary Clinton is worse. It's repulsive. You can't even watch it. You're like, this lady is so full of shit. No authenticity. Not a speck of honesty. That's how I perceive Joe Biden.
The servicemen and women he served with, particularly those who did not come home, were not losers. If these statements are true, the president should humbly apologize to every Gold Star mother and father and every Blue Star family that he's denigrated and insulted.
He can't even honestly get irate. Right? When I'm pissed off, right? I mean authentic. Authentic. Sometimes I'm making it up, and I do this. I'm on camera every day, right? And when I'm pissed off, you know it, right? And it's authentic, and you can feel it, right? This fucking shit pisses me off, man. This motherfucker tried to run over a bunch of motherfuckers in Times Square or something, right? Or Kyle Rittenhouse getting shot, right? Authentic anger. Joe Biden is not authentic. He doesn't believe what he's saying. He's reading from a script, and it was polled as being popular. But now he still has to deliver the message. See, that's what I'm talking about. He's not an authentic leader. He can't walk up to the mic and just speak from the top of his head like Trump does. Trump does it every day. Although Trump is reading a little from the prompter, he's riffing. He's riffing on the prompter. Right? So unauthentic. That's what I'm trying to say.
Who the heck does he think he is? Is it true? Well, we've heard from his own mouth his characterizations of an American-era John McCain as a loser in 2015.
John McCain was a loser.
Donald Trump said he was not a war hero. I like people who weren't captured.
Now, Trump is on the record as saying that. Trump said that about John McCain. Confirmed. I've seen the video. He said, I like people. He said it at the rally. He made it part of his rally speech. I like people who don't get caught. That's what Trump said about John McCain getting caught. Which John McCain was running his whole pitch about, how much of a hero he was, and Trump just chopped him down, chopped off his legs. I like people who don't get caught.
Well, good for him. And his dismissal of the traumatic brain injuries suffered by troops serving in Iraq as mere headaches not too long ago.
I'm playing this because I want you to see how pathetic it is, right? How hard it is to listen. He's difficult. Can you imagine 43 minutes of this?
He stood by, failing to take action or even raise the issue with Vladimir Putin, while the Kremlin puts bounties on the heads of American troops in Afghanistan.
Look at this guy, man. Look at this guy. Just look at him, man. I'm Joe Biden.
It's a sacred duty. And you're tired of hearing me say this. Those who've been covering me for years know. I get in trouble for saying it. I'm going to say it again. We have many obligations to the government. We only have one truly sacred obligation. equipped to support those who we send into harm's way.
What a clown. What a clown. So let's look at the article. So Americans died in war are losers and suckers. This is the Atlantic publishing this on September 3rd, 2 days ago, making a big ruckus. And just watch the let's look and see who said it. How did they know he said it, right? Is there any video evidence? No. Is there anything written down? No. The president has repeatedly disparaged the intelligence of service members and asked that wounded veterans be kept out of military parades. Multiple sources tell The Atlantic. Right. When President Donald Trump canceled a visit to the Azni Marna American cemetery near Paris in 2018, he blamed rain for the last-minute decision, saying the helicopter couldn't fly and that the Secret Service wouldn't drive him there. Neither claim was true. Now, I didn't see Trump say that. There's no video evidence of him saying that. But again, Trump rejected the idea of visiting because he feared his hair would become disheveled in the rain, and because he did not believe it important to honor American war dead, according to 4 people with firsthand knowledge of the discussion that day. 4 people with firsthand knowledge. Who are they? Without a legitimate source, you don't have anybody, Atlantic. You got a fucking bullshit story. Without a credible, nobody believes you. I don't believe you. But I do believe that Trump was partial to war protest at the time. That I do believe. Because most people without their head up their ass in the 60s saw that the war was bad. Just like in 2000, right after Bush bombed Iraq, or before he did, millions of people protested the war effort in Iraq. Vietnam was no different. But you have no evidence. 4 people with firsthand knowledge of the discussion. That's like nobody. Right? In a conversation with senior staff members at the morning of the scheduled visit, Trump said, quote, "Why should I go to the cemetery? It's filled with losers," unquote. In a separate conversation on the trip, Trump referred to more than 1,800 Marines who lost their lives at Belleau Wood as suckers for getting killed. Now, Belleau Wood is a cemetery for World War I veterans. World War I U.S. veterans. 1,800 Marines are buried in France, right outside of France. Right? Did he say it? There's no evidence, right? There's no evidence that he actually said it. Right. Is it piling on? I mean, we're less than 2 months away from an election. Is this a piling on? Is this a concerted effort? Is this a hit? Is this a hit piece? Of course it is. Of course it is. Belleau Wood is a consequential battle in American history, and the ground on which it was fought is venerated. I'm having a tough day. Venerated by the Marine Corps. America and its allies stopped the German advance towards Paris there in the spring of 1918. But Trump, on the same trip, asked aides, "Who were the good guys in the war?" Who were the good guys in the war, he said. He also said that he didn't understand why the United States should intervene on the side of the Allies. If any of this is true, it's just Trump's vision, right? Is he allowed to have an opinion of previous wars? Does he have to be a robot and a stereotypical idiot if he said it at all? I would respect that at least. I respect people that say it and mean it. And for the most part, Trump does say things and mean it. But it could just be a hit piece piling on the fact that we already know Trump disses John McCain and said that he was not a war hero. He was more like it was a failure. He got caught. I like people who don't get caught. He did say that. Is it piling on? I don't know. Trump's understanding of concepts such as patriotism, service, and sacrifice has interested me since expressed contempt for the war record of the late John McCain. Right? Says some idiot, right? Some idiot writer. So there's a lot more. There's a lot more accusations. But again, But again, you could read all this you want, but the fact is that this line right here, right? According to 4 people with firsthand knowledge of the discussion that day, that is not evidence. That is a game of telephone. Right? You tell somebody something, and somebody tells you something, and oh no, don't use my name. No, you can't use my name. Why wouldn't you want your name on this? Why wouldn't you want to be the guy who brought this to, let the jury of the people decide. Come out in front of the cameras, say what you saw. Say what you saw. So Trump denies any of this shit. What else we got here? So this is the cemetery in France. It's an American cemetery. All the crosses up in the Battle of Belleau Wood was fought with many American casualties. But this is really what was going on in the 60s. Right? This is Washington Square Park. You see me out there all the time, right? You see me out in Washington Square Park all the time. If there's audio, I'm going to turn it off. No, it's hippie shit. Right? So this is welcome to 1960. Welcome to the protest. It's Barack Obama. Right? People protesting the war, as they do. Right? People protest the war. Right? Trump is 77. How old was Trump? How old was Trump in 1960? Let's say 1965. At 77 years old. Somebody do the math for me. How old was Trump in 1965? Probably 20 years old. How old, 77-year-old Donald Trump, how old was Donald Trump in 1965? Someone with math skills, please. In the comments. That's the fountain. Why watch this? Why watch this? Because to understand, you have to understand. You have to understand what was going on at the time. This is Trump's generation. All right, so he's 20 years old. So Trump is 20-year-old man. He's the age of that girl dancing around. Maybe just a little bit younger. He's a little older than the fat kid in the fountain. 20-year-old kid. This is what he was in. New York City, 1965. It has to be the late 60s. So now Trump is 21, 22. He's at the most impressionable age, right? Seeing war or something bad. I'm not defending Trump. I'm just trying to put it into context that Joe Biden failed to do. That most people rejected the war in Vietnam and smartly turned their back on the people that went and fought. Because I feel the same way. I think that, honestly, I think that people that go off to war and die today in this day and age in a volunteer army fighting these stupid counterinsurgency wars like Iraq or going to Syria or any of those places, going down, going down to Venezuela, any of these efforts in South America, I fundamentally think that they are tools. They clearly are. And I'm not the president of the United States. I can say whatever I want, but I think they are tools. I think they are people that are opportunists to some degree. They want a free education. They want some sort of experience in the world. So they join the army and they get something back for it. But to actually join forces like Tulsi Gabbard did and say, I wanted to defend my country, and then get on a plane and go 8,000 miles away and bomb people in a desert for oil is stupid. And when Tulsi Gabbard was running, I was saying it all along. No, you're stupid. You're supposed to defect. So in light of that, is Donald Trump supposed to change his opinion because he was reelected to the president, or was he the presidency, or was he elected because of who he was and who he is, right? His fundamental beliefs. Maybe that's a good thing to say. that war is bad, and the people that join those wars are stupid or misguided or not correct in their thinking. And maybe we can de-escalate wars by not having people join. So it could actually be a blessing in disguise, is what I'm saying. Right? Now, that's not taking Trump's side. It's just putting into perspective. I am of this generation or a previous generation, right? And when I was like in my 30s, I guess, when the streets were full of anti-Bush, propaganda about weapons of mass destruction right after 9/11. And most thinking people came to the conclusion that war was a bad idea. All right, so let's continue. Fox News, I think, did the best piece on about what happened, what Trump had said. Listen to this report, and then we'll talk some more. Keep going.
More now on that new report out of The Atlantic magazine claiming President Trump called America's fallen service members suckers and losers. The president denying that report vehemently. Top Pentagon officials are weighing in. National security correspondent Jennifer Griffin has more on that. Jennifer.
John, I've spoken with two senior U.S. officials who were on the trip to France who confirmed to me key details in the Atlantic article and the quotes attributed to the president. My source, a former Trump administration official, told me when the president spoke about the Vietnam War, he said it was a stupid war. Anyone who went was a sucker.
All right. I believe that. Now, she has not cited any sources. This is Fox News. Fox News is trying to confirm the Atlantic article, the Atlantic report, and she's not citing any former senior Trump administration official yet. Well, we'll give the fucking name up.
The president would say about American veterans, what's in it for them? They don't make any money. The source said it was a character flaw of the president. He could not understand why someone would die for their country. Not worth it. Regarding the French trip to mark the end of World War I, according to this former official,
you die for your country. You die for your country when there's a tank rolling up towards your house, or into your neighborhood or your friend's neighborhood, or when boats come sailing into the New York harbor, ready to take over. That's when you fight. When the fight comes to you, you don't go over there and instigate and kill people.
The president was not in a good mood. French President Macron had said something that made him mad. He questioned why he had to go to 2 cemeteries. Why do I have to do 2? His staff explained he could cancel, but he was warned, they, the press, are going to kill you for this. The president was mad as a hornet when they did, according to this source. When asked if the president could have driven to the Aisne-Marne cemetery, this former official said confidently that there was not a security reason not to drive to the cemetery, which was about 40 miles from Paris. Quote, the president drives a lot. The other world leaders drove to the cemeteries. He just didn't want to go. Regarding the president's July 4th military parade planning, during a planning session at the White House after seeing the Bastille Day parade in 2017.
As far as this, people, I'm reading the chat, people saying that why would the media run with this? Because it's a winner, right? You got to remember, people don't vote on the facts. People vote based on propaganda. They get motivated based on propaganda, what the TV tells them. So again, if it's a big lie like this one, that Trump said all these horrible things about veterans and he's the president of the United States, he's not allowed to do that. Half of the people will take it out of context and not give you the context that I just gave you, that Trump was raised at a time of Vietnam, right? That's his mindset, right? But then that's the context. That's the proper context.
President Trump said regarding the inclusion of wounded guys, quote, that's not a good look. Americans don't like that. Regarding Senator McCain, the president, according to this source, just hated John McCain. He always asked, why do you see him as a hero? 2 sources confirmed the president did not want the flags lowered after McCain died, but others in the White House ordered them at half-mast. There was a standoff, and then the president relented. Meantime, Defense Secretary Mark Esper just issued a statement praising the president, quote, President Trump has the highest respect and admiration for our nation's military members, veterans, and families. That is why he has fought for greater pay and more funding for our armed forces.
So what is it? Is it Trump flipping? Is Trump flip-flopping? Is he coming, goes up to the podium and champions the war machine now that he's the president, but at the time and deep down inside he really doesn't give a shit about it. It's just an ends to a mean. You know, it's just a way to keep the machine going, right? I don't know, man. I don't know. I tend to think that Trump probably believes a lot of these ideas that soldiers are suckers, that they should have stayed home and worked and fought in real wars that mattered. Probably. What did the New York Times say about it? So the New York Times took a dig too. Trump faces uproar over reported remarks disparaging falling soldiers. A report in The Atlantic said the president called troops killed in combat losers and suckers. So the New York Times goes on and on about it, all based on the Atlantic article, and you see Fox News is running with it. Of course, the liberal left. It seems to be a piling on of the John McCain story, right? Right. I never called John a loser, says Trump. But he did. I mean, Trump said, I like people who don't get caught, you know. So anyway, did Trump actually say it? This is an interesting perspective by one of the young Turk chick. Check it out.
In The Atlantic came out yesterday, in which Trump was accused of
This is I guess a progressive perspective. Well, let's try to see what she says, the young Turk.
Calling fallen soldiers losers and suckers when trying to get out of visiting a military cemetery in 2018. So this story rings true based on what we know of Trump, but it was broken by Jeffrey Goldberg, who was one of the most prominent Iraq War cheerleaders of the 2000s.
Now that is an excellent point. Right? That is an excellent point the young lady makes, right? The very attractive young lady makes. Is that this guy, Jeffrey Goldberg, right? This is good stuff, because she went right for the author. She's going to tell us about the author, who I have no fucking idea who he is, but she does.
War cheerleaders of the 2000s. Aspects of it were confirmed by the Washington Post and the AP, so that does lend the story credence.
No, it doesn't. That's where I would disagree, right? So Greenberg, whatever the fuck his name is. What's his name again? I forgot his name already. Goldberg has a reputation. He was a cheerleader for the Iraq War, and so that's where it's coming from. He's the loser.
But I'm a little bit skeptical in some areas because of, for example, how Goldberg explained why his sources were anonymous on CNN.
The president, your story, did not want amputees in a military parade because people don't want to see them. I'm curious why these people didn't want to go on the record. We're 2 months from an election, and these are horrible insults to service members. Did they explain their thinking as to why they wouldn't put their names to these accounts?
Well, like you, when you're faced with the same situation, you always ask for people to go on the record.
Sure.
And
he's a fucking liar. All right, so this is the guy who wrote. This is Goldberg, whatever his name is. This is Mr. Jewberg, who wrote the article for The Atlantic, by the way.
then ultimately you have to make it when they don't want to go, and we both experienced why people don't want to go. They don't want to be inundated with angry tweets and all the rest. And we push hard, and that's why you have to sort of do this reporting with even more belt and suspenders approach.
Okay, so anonymous sources in and of themselves should not be a source of skepticism.
Yep.
But Goldberg,
no,
being the one to break the story.
No. They are a source. Repeat that. They are a source, darling.
Anonymous sources in and of themselves should not be a source of skepticism. But Goldberg, being the one to break the story, should be, and his...
Right. All right. I would agree with that. If the person saying it, if someone is breaking the news and is credible, then you might turn a blind eye to the fact that the sources are anonymous. I would agree with that. But this guy has no credibility, according to the Young Turk.
His explanation for it was odd. The Washington Post verification of this story basically reprinted The Atlantic and then added one additional anonymous source to the verification.
So Washington Post piling on top of The Atlantic. They're in cahoots. So they're supposed to they do a deep dive to see if it's true, the Washington Post, but they don't. That's the CIA. So it looks like a hit.
And these could be rumors that were going around. The Associated Press's verification was a lot more sound, I would say. So I'm not saying I don't believe this story. I'm probably actually erring on the side of believing it more than not believing it. But the fact that...
I'm on the side that I don't believe it more than I believe it. I think that Trump does harbor those kind of ideas, but without a credible source, I don't believe it.
So many outlets have just run with it. When Goldberg, everything he writes should be treated with skepticism. That's what bothers me. But this is the AP's verification in addition on top of what was written about in The Atlantic.
Thank you very much. That was good. That was a good report. A new report details... Oh, let her read it.
A new report details multiple instances of President Donald Trump making disparaging remarks about members of the U.S. military who have been captured or killed, including referring to the American war dead at the Marne American Cemetery in France, I could have butchered that, in 2018, as losers and suckers. Trump said Thursday that the story is totally false. The allegations were first reported in The Atlantic. A senior Defense Department official with first-hand knowledge of events and a senior U.S. Marine Corps officer who was told about Trump's comments confirmed some of the remarks to the Associated Press, including the 2018 cemetery comments. The defense officials said Trump made the comments as he begged off visiting the cemetery outside Paris during a meeting following his presidential daily briefing on the morning of November 10, 2018. Staffers from the National Security Council and the Secret Service told Trump that the rainy weather made helicopter travel to the cemetery risky, but they could drive there. Trump responded by saying he didn't want to visit the cemetery because it was filled with losers, the official said, speaking on condition of anonymity because the official was not authorized to discuss it publicly. The White House blamed the canceled visit on poor weather at the time. In another conversation on the trip, The Atlantic said Trump referred to the 1,800 Marines who died in the World War I Battle of Belleau Wood as suckers for getting killed. Is this the exact kind of thing that Trump would say? Absolutely. Do I...
Yeah, you got to agree with that, right? Is it something that he would say off the cuff, right? Because why? Because he was a Vietnam guy. He was a child. He was a flower child. He was a flower child, darling. Right? He wanted to dance in the Washington Square Park fountain with a flower in his hair and rub up against black chicks or whatever they were doing in the 60s and smoke reefer and tune on and tune in and drop out. That's what they wanted to do in the 60s. So anyway, man. So hey, Marcus Conte reporting, man. Holy shit. I think the biggest story today, unquestionably, is that when you go to Antifa.com, you end up at JoeBiden.com. Now that is just I'm sitting here, I can't believe what I'm seeing, right? I keep plugging in Antifa.com. I want to go to Antifa.com. I keep ending up at Joe fucking Biden, man. I just keep, watch. Antifa.com. Come on, take me to Antifa. Nope, I end up at Joe Biden. Who directed Antifa's site to Joe Biden? And why has Joe Biden not pushed back? Joe Biden is siding with a radical movement, criminals, people that are committing crimes all over the country. Right? You got to push back on that shit, right? So I think that's the big story. As far as the Trump thing, I don't know. I don't think it really matters because that kind of talk doesn't hurt Trump. It never did in the past. Trump just brushes it off as like, yeah, people. I say a lot of things. I talk all day long. Sometimes I say something off the cuff. But in context, it's just like, he could have said it sarcastically. It's a cemetery. It's full of dead people, or it's full of losers, right? They're fucking all dead, right? They should still be alive. I mean, it could have been his type of sarcasm that said it, but I don't think it affects Trump in terms of re-election or election. I think Trump is. I don't see how Joe Biden wins. I just don't fucking see it. I don't see how Biden wins the Rust Belt, how he wins Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania. What was it? I think Indiana, right? How does he flip those back? Florida, Virginia. How does Joe Biden flip all of the flippers back blue without a message? Where he can't put, he's out there gaffing away. He's out there saying that a black man invented the light bulb. He can't sew a sentence together. He cannot move away from the teleprompter. He can't go out in front of public. He's going to get destroyed in the debates. Right? How does he win? Right? That's not a Trump. That's not. Look, it's the same party, right? It's just two sides of the same coin, right? That's all it is. I know you. It's like a sport, right? Because we don't have sports anymore, so this is our sport. Who's going to win, Trump or Biden? Right? But it doesn't change our lives. It doesn't change. It's not going to change my life, one iota, really. It's just going to get. It's bad, and it's just going to get badder. It's going to get worse in a different way. That's what happens. I just broke my pen. That's what happens. And amazingly, if you watched in the beginning, I got a letter from Nancy Pelosi, and I'm so happy about this. I just can't believe Nancy Pelosi knows who I am. I got a direct letter from Nancy Pelosi, right? Because someone has to stand up to the bully in the White House, and she's reaching out to me. She reached out to me and sent me the photo, man. So that's what the fuck is going on today, man. This shit is crazy, man. It's just crazy fucking. Thank you, everybody in the chat for joining me. Appreciate your being here. Phil West, what's up, Phil West? Band Zero, Cinema, Cine Mini, Bebop, D Martini on the chat, D Martini on the wrench. Don't fuck around, don't fucking be a dick out here. Cook around, smoke flowers in the hands here. JB. Bill West, my brother. I love Bill West's comment. Chris Milk. Hey, Bill, do you post on other sites or just here? You're a smart guy. I like what you have to say. I don't always agree with you, but I always read most of it. Okay. So thank you very much, man. I appreciate this. Come on.